You can't future-proof your job, but you can future-proof your career. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 strategies that you can use to future-proof your career to take it to the next level. But before we get started, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can get notified every time I release a new video. And now let's get started. Strategy number 1 is to define your career goals. This is extremely important because you want to chart out the map not just for your next promotion or the next level that you want to get to, but the map for your entire career trajectory. And to do that, it's really important to understand what is it that you want to achieve in your career. I'll give you an example. When I started in my corporate career, I would think about getting to a manager level or to a senior manager level or to a total compensation of say 250K. But that was just preparing me for my next level. I wanted to get prepared for my entire career trajectory. And that's why it was important for me to sit down and define my own professional journey and say, where do I want to be in the next few years? What are some of the key elements that I want to be part of this journey? And 2 things were very clear to me. One was that I wanted to give back to the community, especially women of color. So anything that I was going to do had to align with that. And the second thing was I wanted a leadership role. I wanted to run a business unit. That was very clear to me. So when these roles were clear to me and what I want to do in my career was clear to me and what were the non-negotiables in my career was clear to me, then I could chart out a path for myself. And my path wasn't a linear path. I moved from being an account manager to being a training and enablement leader to moving on to product management, customer advocacy, and then leading a business unit that was over $350 million. If I wouldn't have sat down and decided what I wanted to do in my career and what was I going after, I would have been stuck in becoming a manager and then moving to a senior manager and then moving to a director level without really focusing on the overall picture, and I wouldn't have been able to achieve what I achieved in my corporate career. The second strategy is to embrace continuous learning, investing in yourself to acquire skills and knowledge that is necessary to move to the next level. I realized this very early on in my career, and every day I spend at least 30 minutes learning something new. I attend a lot of events. I speak at a lot of events. The benefit of speaking at a lot of events is that you get an opportunity to learn about a new subject area and to share your insights about that subject area with your audience as well. I create a lot of LinkedIn learning courses. I'm a LinkedIn learning instructor. And what that does, it helps me hone my skills, not just in terms of the functional skills or the knowledge skills, but also power skills like effective communication and storytelling, which is so critical for your growth. So make sure that you are investing in yourself. You are carving out 30 minutes every day to learn something new. And to help you in your journey of continuous learning, there's a link in the description box for you to get access to LinkedIn Learning for free for 1 month. Make sure that you leverage that link. Make sure you go through as many courses as you can possibly during that 1 month and maybe beyond to invest in yourself. The third strategy that I want to talk to you about is honing your communication skills. Now, in my coaching practice, I often hear people saying, oh, I'm very confident in front of people. I have no problem communicating what I want to say. But communication skills are not just about can you speak confidently in front of people or can you speak confidently in meetings. It is more to do with, do you know what your story is? Can you communicate to people what your story is, what your values are, what your superpower is, and can you do it effectively? It's also about active listening. It's about learning from others, coming from a place of curiosity and getting all that information that you need to be able to be successful in your role. So when you start thinking about communication skills, Don't just think about whether you can effectively speak to people or not, or whether you are confident in a room or not. Also think about, have you narrowed down what your story is? How are you going to communicate your story? Do you know the art of storytelling? Do you know what your values are? Do you know what your superpower is? And can you communicate it effortlessly in a conversation? That's what you have to think about when you start thinking about communication skills. And the fourth strategy that I have for you is to build a strong professional network. 15 years ago, when I came to United States, I had no understanding of how to build a professional network. I didn't even know how to network. So we would go to all these after work parties and people would talk to each other. They would establish trust by sharing their stories. And I was just talking about my project. So people didn't want to talk to me about my projects. They wanted to know me. I didn't have my story narrowed down. I didn't know what my values were, or I couldn't articulate them very effectively. And I didn't feel comfortable sharing that in a professional environment. Over a period of time, I had to learn how to network effectively, how to introduce myself as an individual without talking about my company or the projects that I was managing, and really talk to people about what I stood for and what was my superpower. So that's really important, to be able to network. And when you start thinking about networking, don't just think about networking within your organization. Think about networking in the industry as well. And nowadays, virtual networking plays such an important role too. Last few jobs that I have received, I have gotten those opportunities through LinkedIn, through my network on LinkedIn, some of the people whom I've never met it in person. And that's why networking becomes so important. I have a video on networking on my channel, so make sure you look at that video if you want to understand how to network. And the fifth step that I have for you, or the fifth strategy that I have for you, which is so important and the basis for this entire strategy, is learning time management. This is extremely important because oftentimes when I meet people and I tell them, you need to hone your communication skills, you need to invest in yourself, you need to identify your goals, you need to network, they come back to me and say, Rashim, I have no time. So learning how to manage your time is essential for your career growth. So think about productivity tips and tools that work for you. Think about, how are you going to implement these strategies more effectively? What are the time saving productivity hacks that work for you? Really spend time in understanding how to manage your time and energy so that you can work on these four other strategies that I outlined for you. Without effective time management, you would not be able to get to the point where you need to get to be able to execute on your career development strategy. So there you go. Those are the 5 strategies that I had for you. I hope you implement these strategies. If you get stuck or if you have questions, please put them in the comments and I'll make sure that I respond to each one of those. By using these strategies, I am confident that you'll be able to take the next step in your career and future-proof your career. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.